Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, just back from Gencon. I had a chance to play Fromage, which was on my top 10 most anticipated games of Gencon. This is a game about making cheese. It is a Euro-style game with simultaneous worker placement. It's designed by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley. That's the team that brought us Search for Planet X and Beyond Two Cities, Beyond Two Castles, Mac and Ludwig, and many others. Let me show you how it's played, and then I'll give you my sort of fresh impressions on the backside. So you have three workers there. On the left is white cheeses, those are soft. The middle is blue, and the right is hard cheeses. And you'll be placing these workers. You can place one, make up to one cheese, and then get one set of resources. So placing two workers is about the most as you could do each turn. Now, depending on how you place them, like here in the quadrant that I'm closest to, I placed that white cheese facing to the left, which means I made a white cheese, which is great. But now, because it's facing to the left, once you're done, the board is going to rotate because everyone's placing their workers on simultaneously. Once everyone's done, it spins. And then if any of your workers are pointing to you, you get them back. So it activates when you place, but you get them back when when they point to you. So if you place a worker placing to the left, it's going to be 3 turns till you get them back. But you're going to be gaining resources as well. Remember, you can get up to one set of resources, the ones closest to you. So here I could get those berries at the bottom, and depending on how I place them, to the right, facing up, or facing to the left, I'll get 1, 2, or 3 berries. Again, remembering that depending on how much you want, that's how many turns it's going to take to get them back. Then you're going to be using those resources, like the berries here towards the bottom. They're used to make some of the better cheeses, but it's also final scoring. It's going to be the amount of strawberries times the amount of jams you make. So essentially, you're going to be trying to get multiplier scoring there as well. In the middle section there, you'll be using the cows to be able to create cheeses without workers, which will give you basically an extra cheese you can make that turn. And at the top, you're going to be making these structures, which will give you special abilities, sometimes extra worker placement spots like the kitchen you see there. And you can actually draft tiles. Even though every board's different, you can draft tiles to set up your strategy at the beginning of the game. But what you're trying to do is each of these quadrants is a mini game. So like on this one, at the end of the game, you'll score points for how many different shelves you have cheese on. Or this one, you're trying to make a long adjacent contiguous group, and some of them are wild, the ones that look like the French flags. Or this one, you're trying to have both your cheeses at the same tables because it's going to make each one of them score more. Or there's a map of France, and it's going to be an area control game. And so once someone places all their cheeses, the game ends, and you score all 4 quadrants. Whoever has the most is the winner. Before we get to the moment you've been waiting for, I want to let you know of an upcoming opportunity to win money while gaming. The World Series of Board Gaming is in Las Vegas from September 22nd to 26th, and they're giving away over $200,000 of cash and prizes, including Super Bowl-style rings, to the winners. Now, there are 16 different games available to play, like Ticket to Ride, Heat Pedal to the Metal, Earth, Brass Birmingham, and more. Now, you can click the link below to learn more details of how it works and to receive $25 off your entry using the promo code GameBoyGeek. So again, as I mentioned, this was on my top 10 of Gencon. It was said it was going to be for sale, but unfortunately it was not for sale. Then I heard there was going to be 5 copies of the demo, but there was really only 1. I was lucky enough to be able to play a whole game. We played one full game with the designers, and I got to play it with my friends from Before You Played, with Naveen and Monique. So hey guys, it was great playing with them. They're fast friends of mine. We did a panel together at Dice Tower West, got to meet them there. You got to play this with them, and having it taught by the designer, Ben's an excellent teacher, so that really helped as well. So I've played this one full time, so this is not really a review. This is a first impressions, and didn't live up to my hype. And my expectations. So let's talk about that. I love that this game has a unique theme, and the theme matches a lot of the mechanisms where, hey, the cheese is gonna sell, it's gonna do you better if it ages longer, but you're gonna have to wait longer and do other things while you do it, right? Sometimes you're gonna be using the milk from the cows to be able to do cheeses you'll be able to basically create more cheeses. Or you're gonna be adding fruits and to jams and stuff to it to get more points. Or you're gonna be building structures to give yourself more abilities and things like that. So the theme is great, it's unique, and it matches the mechanisms, which I love. This game is streamlined worker placement with timed retrieval. Think, games like Zolkin, Barrage, where you put workers out there, they do something. The more powerful they are, sometimes it takes longer for them to come back. But the simultaneous having the timed retrieval worked so good. It just makes you think, if I put this like this, I'm not gonna get it for 3 more turns, but it's gonna do me something really big. You kind of don't want to get all your workers back at once, but you also don't want to have no workers. Sometimes that can work depending on what you're doing, but like you're trying to have like a free flowing of it, and you're thinking 2 to 3 turns in advance, and it's just really crunchy, but the game is so snappy. It's so good. Each of the quadrants that you're placing in is essentially like a mini game for scoring. Like one of them's area control. One of them's, hey, get on the same tables. Get pairs on tables. How many different tables? One of them's like, get on different shelves. One of them's like, hey, try to have the biggest contiguous longest line. Like all different ways and mini games of scoring. This is one of those games that you need to focus heavily on like one or 2 ways of scoring and like ignore everything else. Because you can't, if you try to do a little bit of everything, you're gonna get destroyed in this game. So that's the type of planning and game this is. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you. I love that some of the spaces that you're creating cheese in, they require like jam or berries. You would have had to have gotten those resources, and now you can spend those resources to get those more juicy spots. But they also, the jam and the berries are gonna be giving you end game points. It's a multiplier, the number of jams times the number of berries, so you're also trying to keep those as equal as possible as well. Another thing to think about, you've got building structures. So these are these abilities that are pre-printed on your board, and everyone's board's different. And it gives you different abilities. Sometimes you get an extra space. The one I unlocked was an extra space that allowed me to, hey, you know what? There was one round I had 3 workers. You can only place 2 by default. 1 for resources and 1 for cheese. I had this third one I get to place on my board and do something. And I got them, you know, and it was great. So some of those structures, they do all different things. And you can draft them at the beginning of the game. There's a bunch of tiles. And you can draft those at the beginning of the game, which makes every game, you build your strategy at the beginning of the game. Oh man, I can't wait to try that. I like that you're using cows to place cheeses without workers. Again, really interesting. The game was just, it was fantastic. On the negative side of things, even though it's simultaneous, a player with analysis paralysis, and I will admit that I don't typically have that. I had it a little bit with this game, just because it takes you, I'd say a good half of the game to go, okay, I finally got how the timing works. Not that it's hard to understand, but how to actually leverage how the timing works is what I should really say. Mechanically, it's easy to understand after the first turn, but how do I actually make this work for me as opposed to against me? And I actually did take longer turns than normal, but it's simultaneous. So a player with analysis paralysis can hold everyone up because it's simultaneous, and you got to wait for that last play to finish anyways before you move on. Not a big deal, but it could happen. There's a lot of things I loved about this game. I think this game is going to be a huge hit. I think it's going to be on many top 10 games of the year list this year. I'd be surprised if it doesn't end up on mine after I have more chances to play it. This is such a crunchy and streamlined game, and it plays in such a quick time. Like it feels like you've played a full 90-minute game because you're getting like 16-ish turns or somewhere around there, but you're playing in half the time. Like 45 minutes, a 4-player game, you're done. Like it's crazy, but it feels like you've played a full game because you're doing all the stuff, but because it's simultaneous and you're moving the board, and it feels like it. This game, not an ounce of fat on this game, but it's crunchy, it's snappy. It might be one of my favorite Euro puzzles that I've ever played. Like, and again, this is just after 1 play. I can't wait to try it out some more. You do so much in so little time with no downtime, and that's what allows it to play in such a short time, but it gives you the full feel. So, did it match up to my being very high on my top 10 anticipated list? Not only did it match it even after 1 play, it probably exceeded it, which is almost impossible. That's how highly I think of this game. This is going to be one of the big hits of the year. And I talked to my game group about this, and they were so excited that I was excited about this that like 3 of them went on the late pledge and like bought the deluxe edition, which the deluxe edition price was actually pretty good. And it looks like they're still getting late pledges. It looks like they're about to start fulfilling, so like the timing is perfect to jump on this bandwagon. I'm sure a lot of people are going to do that. This is the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games, helping you play the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and they just launched their 4.5 Kickstarter, which will introduce the new Galactic, Mycroft, and Watson Game Toppers with interchangeable rail inlays, as well as new game mats, miniature gaming terrain packs, leg kit options, dining covers, accessories, and amazing package deals. Search for Game Toppers on Kickstarter or go to GameToppersLLC.com.